pledge and the invocation. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, please lead us and guide us today as we do what's best for the county and as we go with our families when we leave here. Please keep us safe and that we live in your name. I ask this in your Jesus Christ, Son Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I'll ask Kobe's dad to give an update on it.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody, and you could see he's doing much better. Somebody's watching above to help us on this, so I will just tell you this. I want to thank everybody for your texts and everybody for calling, bringing the food over. And Kobe's at the Sheraton Center in Atlanta, and it's for brain and spinal. And he is talking, he's walking today, and his mom's down there with him. So we figure about a month and he'll get to come back home. So I want to thank you.
Yeah. Good.
And mom gets to come back home then too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good news, thank you. Okay, consent agenda is minutes for last week's meeting, a monthly report, certificate of training for Jay Graff, and appointment order of Timothy Wright as Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
No table agenda items, okay, we want to award a bid, I understand, for used bridge beams. We opened this bid, was it last week?
Last week.
Yes, last week.
John Gross, Highway Administrator. Several weeks ago, we put out a bid for used bridge beams, so we could purchase those at a lower cost than what the new ones are. We plan on using the used bridge beams to replace some low water structures throughout the county. Several years ago, there was a program with the BRO that would allow us to replace our low water crossings with a bridge. And when we did that, we would receive soft match credit. That was a loophole in the system of the BRO program. And since then, you cannot replace low water crossings with bridges and receive soft match credit. So with the amount of low water crossings that we had in the county, we were trying to find a way to be able to replace those a little bit faster than what we could just trying to budget new bridges. So we found some used bridge beams, and that's what they are going to be used for, is these low water crossings. So Keith Simpson, I believe, was the only bid that we had for $70,000. And that would allow us to build 5 bridges, 3 of them at 30 feet, 11 inches, and 2 bridges at 23 feet, 10 inches. Now, we still will have to pay for the concrete on the head walls and the wing walls and all the rock that goes around it. But just in comparison, the bridge that we just built on Busick was roughly $75,000. That's one bridge, that's 6 beams, and all the concrete that went with it.
Built in-house.
Built in-house, other than the beams that we did bid out, county materials provided us. So with this, we can do 5 sets of bridge beams for $70,000. So it's our recommendation that we purchase the bridge beams from Keith Simpson. It is something that we do have in the current bridge budget right now. And we do have a letter from Smith & Company stating that the beams are structurally sound. What we will do when we get these bridges built with these beams, we will proof load them with Smith & Company and MoDOT to get a load rating on them. What they do is they will put, let's say we do want to do a 15-ton limit on the bridge, then we have to put 30,000 plus 25% of that, so we'd be at 37.5 to get that 15-ton load limit. They'll set up a dial indicator under the bridge and proof load it with that weight sitting on the bridge.
See how much deflection you get.
See how much deflection you get.
All right, so it's your recommendation that we buy these beams,
Correct.
okay, motion?
I'll make a motion that we purchase the used beams from Keith Simpson at $70,000.
I'll second that.
Okay, tell me about transportation.
So we will haul some of them, and so will he, when these bridges are built.
Okay.
Because we can fit these on the equipment that we have right now, the road bridge.
You have to have a crane to each end.
He will have a crane down there load them, and then when we build these bridges, we will have to bid out that crane service per bridge,
You're timing for that purpose, okay.
just like we always do.
Okay, any other questions?
You anticipate doing some of this year? Yeah.
We would like to start one this winter. If we can make that happen. I know we have a particular area in the county that has some harvest going on right now, and there's only one way in and one way out. So if we can make that work, then yes, we will be building a bridge this winter.
Have to coordinate that with those farmers, yes.
If this is successful, John, do you anticipate doing this again in the future?
We would do it on our low water structures, maybe not a big bridge. I know right now we have Wolf Creek Bridge that's out for bid, or will be out for bid. It's in engineering right now. I don't foresee us using used beams on that, but for these smaller structures, yes.
And realize these are low water crossings now, that we're gonna raise up as much as practically possible, depending on the approaches to these structures. But they still may get underwater from time to time, even once we finish these projects.
And we've been working with Bob. I know he's come up with some numbers as far as with some flooding and some different elevations. So we've been in close contact with him as well.
When you change road, excuse me, when you change road elevations, you also change the flood pattern around that area. So Bob gets all upset by that when you
He
do that.
does. He
Okay.
likes the work.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a step increase request for Marie Murphy. Go ahead, Jay.
Jay Graff, Recorder of Deeds. Marie's been there 10 years, coming up in September 2022. And she's up for a step increase. She's a deputy 2, would be moving to a deputy 3. She's making $4.25 an hour now, and that would be a 75-cent increase for her pay that we're asking the commission to go ahead and approve that. That'll be put into the 2022 budget when that happens.
Okay, and it's effective at that 10-year anniversary.
2022, September 17, 2022.
Okay. All right, motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept for Marie Murphy as Recorder of Deeds for her step grade for the raise.
Second?
I'll second that.
Questions? Okay, thank you, Jake, appreciate that. I'm sorry.
Next item.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Jake.
He's not leaving.
Next item, we'd like to go ahead and accept the amended bid for our Phase 5 scan project for 33 books. It was amended on the fact that it was the original bid was 4 bound books, which are very difficult to work with. And most of them, they didn't realize were mechanical books, which you can take apart and pull the pages out.
Loose leaf.
And
Yeah.
shoot them into a scanner. And so that made quite a bit of difference. Actually went from 28,000 down to 16,000. So we'll accept that. And that's more in line with all the other prices that we've had over the years for that. So.
Motion?
I'll make that motion that we go with your recommendation for the 33 books at 16,000.
I'll second that.
That's 16,000 even?
$16,124.58.
Need that in the middle.
458, thank you.
Okay, any questions? Okay, all in favor of that, with that amended dollar amount, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jake. I'm trying to get rid of it, but anyway. Okay, now we need to go to step 2 of our building expansion work coming up. And this is for CMR to go out for design build. I don't know if I need any other explanation for that. So we need to seek the RFQ for CMR.
I'll make a motion, we do the step 2 and to seek the CMAR as our next step in this process.
Okay, second.
And I'll second that.
Question? Yeah, Rich.
Harold, is this gonna be done on a yearly basis? Or is this forever?
This won't be, well, it'll be perpetual for now because this is a 3 or 4 year project coming up.
Okay.
We won't get much of any of it done this calendar year. So, it's gonna be a step process.
So this is for one specific project?
No, it's for several projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's one, this can be for multiple projects on CMAR.
Sure.
See, the general contract would be a single project. Yeah,
Is an RFP still up for the actual construction?
okay, say that again.
I'm not familiar with the construction manager at risk statutes. I was wondering if you guys knew if an RFP will still be let out for the construction itself.
No, we'll do bids on that, just regular bidding on construction. And the CMR,
They will, yes, they will, sorry. We will do this process
yeah,
ourselves.
go through the process.
I just didn't know if you guys, I wasn't sure, so I didn't know.
We've got a list that we can help you with on that, update on that. Okay, any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Step 2 is going. Permission to purchase new Wi-Fi access points. Dwayne, you gonna do that?
Yep, I'm gonna do that today.
This is not Jared Faulkner, as I thought it was.
From our
Thank you.
state manager. Everybody see it? Dwayne Mooney, IT supervisor. Today I'm coming to the commission to approve this bid for 4 wireless access points to upgrade our network at the courthouse, annex, and Weber Road for $4,531.96. We've done some testing with these, and to give a little bit more background on this, this is 4 access points. 1 access point will cover this whole building, 2 will cover the courthouse, and 1 will cover Weber Road. The reason for the upgrade is that our current system is out of date as of February of this year. And so with that come a lot of attacks and a lot of viruses, so we want to prevent that right away. To compare with other devices, we have currently working here about 9 or 10. Each one are about $500 each. So at the price point of $841 per device, it's a lot better for us. We've tested this at the jail, unfortunately, due to the construction of the building. The Wi-Fi access isn't as good, so we have to do multiple there, so we are seeking out a different bid for the year.
So the jail will be done later, is that what you're telling
The
me?
jail will be done sometime this year, is the plan. I have 2 or 3 quotes out right now to get good pricing for that, but their system's gonna be designed a little bit different.
Okay. And these have good security on them?
Yes, these are Cisco brand, which means they're one of the best. They have a 5-year plan included with it, which is highlighted there. So what that'll do is allow us remote access anywhere within the facility. We can pinpoint the access. We can lock these down pretty much by, if we need to, by phones. So like if somebody has a new phone, we can put an address in there. So whatever we want to do security-wise, these things can do it.
Okay. Motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve IT for the new Wi-Fi access
For
for $4,531.96.
second?
I'll second.
Any questions?
This
Yes?
quote,
Yeah.
this quote's only good till the end of next week, or till the end of this month, rather.
Yes, at the moment, he has approved it till, valid until the 31st of this month. I can recontact them to approve it, but we already have the Wi-Fi access points here. Cisco actually sent us the devices so we can test them. So really, this is just approval that, if it doesn't get approved, they have to send them back. But we're already starting to utilize them a little bit. Probably nobody's even noticed the change.
Okay.
Was this
Yes.
through a state contract?
Yes, through SHI.
Okay.
And then, if for some reason it does not go underneath the state contract, I did get quotes as well, just to make sure we did a due diligence on it.
Perfect.
So, thank you.
You guys didn't
You have to
vote?
vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading the fine print.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye. Sorry. See, I usually catch
fine
you
print
back.
on this
You
side.
got you this time. I'm sorry.
Okay, permission to solicit architectural services. Who's gonna talk about that?
Well, what this is for is like local, the architectural services within the city limits of Farmington, or the architectural service, anything we do within the city limits, we have to be approved for offices, buildings. And this is just permission to maybe use a local where we don't have to go beyond where we can do small jobs. And, that's basically what it's for, local, in office, within the city limits, you have to have architectural stamps for safety of the citizens or the workers here. and it has to be approved.
It's a liability issue.
It's a liability issue, yes.
Brian and them can continue to do what they do so nice.
Okay, motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept, or do the architectural
Solicit.
services, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, second?
I'll second the motion to solicit architectural services.
Any question? Yes?
Will this be done in the form of an RFQ?
We could, yeah. And be published on the website. Okay, questions anymore? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Step increase request to the assessor. Dan? Dan, what do you got? One more week?
One more week from today, 4 p.m., 31st of August will be my last day.
But who's counting?
Dan Ward, St. Francis County, current St. Francis County assessor. I'll be making the presentation today because our assessor-elect is in assessor training in Jefferson City with the Missouri State Tax Commission and the Commissioners Association. So I was delegated to do this. What we're looking at is we've had retirements the past few months. Our mapper retired July 1st. Myself and Jane Rasnick, our field supervisors, retiring August 31st. And Eric, of course, will assume the duties of assessor September 1. Eric was the commercial appraiser, has been for the past few years, and Brandon Hale has accepted that position effective September 1. Mindy Woldridge, Connie Mahurin, and Leroy Muller are the after effects of Danny's retirement because we are hiring Midland, SAM now being known that, to work on our deeds and do the drawings, everything that Danny was doing until either Leroy or someone is hired to do that. It's cost savings at this point. But all that stuff has to be done by the real estate director, our administrative assistant, and Mindy's part of that also, to make sure that everything is sent off properly to be the work to be done and sent back to us by Sam. And Connie, as the real estate director, is also assuming the duties that Jane was responsible for as field supervisor, supervising over the field staff to make sure that everything that Jane was doing, that she will not be doing anymore as supervisor. Connie will be assuming those duties. She will also be doing the duties with Sam, taking that information to be sent off and put back when we get it back from, I call it Midland, they call it Sam, I like Midland better. Leroy, of course, has been bouncing back and forth between his position to Danny's chair, doing the simple deed work and drawing the lines that he can do that Danny trained him up to this point. And hopefully he'll continue to learn more, be able to do more. I think I've covered just about everyone.
Okay, now, you've got several agenda items here, so let's do them one at a time.
Okay, step increases.
First one will be Mindy.
Mindy Woldridge, who will be going from a deputy assessor 1 to a deputy assessor 2. She has been, after, of course, Teresa retired, Mindy was put into that position a little later on as deputy assessor 1. And with all the added duties, and I think a lot of this just revolves around Danny's retirement. There's so much stuff that he did is now being placed on the shoulders of 4 of them.
So your retirement won't affect them at all?
I really had no
Okay.
effect on the office
I had to do that. Okay. Okay, so we have a motion to move Mindy from, and what are the job
Now,
titles?
these are 75-cent increases on this, and there is money in our budget already to finish up for the rest of the year. Mindy gave, it looked like it's gonna be $1,890 to take care of those adjustments of salaries to the end of the year. Of course, that'd be in the budget for next year. And Mindy would go from deputy assessor 1 to deputy assessor 2.
Okay, we just got those this morning, so the deputy 1 to deputy 2, assessor 1
Yeah.
2. Okay.
And the job descriptions are all included in
Yeah,
this.
we got those finally this morning, yeah. Okay, motion to approve Mindy's change in.
I'll make a motion, we accept the change from the assessor's office from Deputy Mindy Woolridge from Deputy Assessor 1 to Deputy Assessor 2.
Second?
I'll second that.
Question? Yes?
do you wanna include that it's effective?
Yeah, Dan's that
Or is
effective,
it
what,
what
September
they-
1
It
or?
will
I
be
saw it.
next
Next
day.
pay period.
Next
Pay
pay
period.
period, okay. Basically
Gotcha,
immediately.
Thank you. Immediately, I'll just put that, it'll be on the next.
I mean, they've been doing the job, so it's not like they're getting ready to start doing it now, they have been doing it.
Okay.
Still have one.
Okay, any other questions? I didn't get the vote on Mindy, did I?
We just need to give you guys first and second.
Okay, all in favor of
Aye.
changing Mindy? Aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay,
Connie,
next one would be Connie.
Real estate director 1, real estate director 2, as I said, with Jane retiring, she has already started working on supervising the field staff more in depth and being part of the Midland data transfers that are going out to them and making sure that everything is done correct. She's also monitoring Leroy Muller's work and Jeff Drummond's work also.
Make a motion that we accept the auditor's request to take Connie Mears. I'm sorry. The assessor, thank you, Dan, I'm sorry, I've already moved you to another position.
That's okay.
Take the step increase from Connie Mears to real estate director 1 to real estate director 2, effective immediately.
I'll second that.
Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
One more time.
Well, we got two more.
Got two.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Leroy.
Well, I.
Leroy Muller, administrative assistant 2, administrative assistant 3, as I said, Leroy has been had been tutored by Danny quite a bit before he left on how to take some of the workload that will be there to save us some money instead of having to pay somebody else to do it. So he has really stepped up to the plate on that.
Question on mine, does Bob have access to mapping like he needs?
If Bob wants to come down, if you have any problems, if you do come, talk to me,
I
but
will, Danny's been a great help.
yeah, it will continue to be that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't charge you that much.
Leroy will be the one.
Okay.
Road and bridge utilizes.
All right,
as well.
I'll make that motion to request of the assessor to take Leroy Marlord from administration assistant 2 to admin assistant 3, effective immediately.
Second.
Questions?
Let's go.
Effective immediately, okay.
Effective immediately.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now,
Last but not least, Brandon Hale, field appraiser 1 to a commercial appraiser 1. And Brandon had been working with Eric over the past 6 months at least, learning how the difference between residential and commercial assessment. And he's caught on pretty good. He's pretty good. So he's very detailed, he writes very clearly. So I think he'll do a good job next year.
okay, motion?
I'll make a motion that we do the step increase for Brandon Hill from field appraiser 1 to commercial appraiser 1.
Second.
I'll second that.
Questions? Yes. Oh,
Will that-
effective immediately.
Well, will that be effective after Dugal takes
Yeah,
office?
September 1.
So that would be.
Or next pay period,
Next pay
however you
period.
want to schedule, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
Soon.
Whatever y'all want to do.
Whatever you say, yeah, instead of effective immediately, I'll second that.
Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
And,
last week, Dan.
man,
I'm going to.
I didn't mean last week to sound
It's
terrible.
all right. I understand. A lot of people have been saying it.
Okay.
I'm getting used to it.
It's only late for the cake.
Yeah. I don't guess that's a surprise, is it?
I guess not.
Okay. Okay, we have a request for approval from the prosecuting attorney's office. I don't know if Melissa or Ryan will be talking to us. Ryan Miller.
Brian Miller, investigator with the prosecuting attorney's office. We're coming to you today just seeking approval to apply for another grant. This is for, we've titled it Expediting Justice for Child Victims of Sex Offenses in St. Francis County. It's a grant that's administered by the Missouri Department of Public Safety, funded through the feds. We've consistently been trying to find new sources of funding to help us with our mission and also decrease the burden on county taxpayers. And we figured we're gonna go for broke. So as part of the new policy that the auditors and the county commission has on applying for these grants, I presented you with a draft of our proposal, which is for an estimated of $149,247.52. That may be changing just a little bit before the final submission, but I estimate it would be no more than $175,000. The maximum grant award is for $300,000. Basically, we're just asking your permission. to do
Is this a matching grant?
No.
No, so it's fully
So
funded.
it's fully grant funded.
And how will that money be spent?
So the way we anticipate doing it is to, as we talked about salaries with attorneys, it is somewhat difficult to attract experienced attorneys. So the idea here, since these positions specifically have to be for cases involving sexual offenses against children. So in order to attract an attorney with that kind of experience and those qualifications, we estimate that about $85,000 or so would be for a payroll for an experienced attorney. And then we would also ask for, it's $38,000 and some change for an additional investigator specifically for sex crimes against children. So it's just for 2 positions, and then $4,000 of it would be for additional workstations, software licenses, and just the workspace that we need.
That 85,000 is per year?
Yes.
Okay, and so what do you do after that?
Well, it's actually one of the questions on the grant application you had to fill out. So it is for 1 year that we would be asking for this funding. And the way that I had written it in the application and also the answer here is we will have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Obviously, budgets change every year, and this is just going to depend a lot on the backlog that we can clear. Because as we talked to you before with the request we had for the American Rescue Plan funds, that's really the challenge we're working at. And if we can move a substantial amount of these cases and shed the need for that additional manpower, then we may not need this position. But going forward, if this is something we need to retain, we'll have to look at our budget at that time and tighten our belts where we need to and make the request where we need to as well.
Maybe this person can help train someone else in the office to do that
Yes.
type of work too.
You know, it's all kind of up in the air on who it is, but if we get lucky and say it's someone who has a substantial amount of experience and they're just looking to ride out another year or so, you know, to share their experience with the rest of our staff would be agreeable.
Is this possibly a grant that's a yearly also, or is this one?
This particular one is tied to coronavirus relief funds, so it likely will, this will be the last year that it's offered.
But it's not, we apply it.
Correct, yep, I got you.
Have you talked to our grant coordinator about this?
I have, and prior to, I've actually got the form that they need me to fill out. I dropped off a copy at her office for her to review, and Amber told me that she's in the process of looking at it now, and make all the marks of things that I missed.
Okay.
But, yes, I have been speaking with her, and they've been a great help.
And to clarify, what's the deadline to file the application for this?
It is August 31st on this one, which is why we're here today, because they need time to go over it, and they've been very gracious in working with this very close deadline.
So we told him he needed to get on the
Yes.
meeting
Do we
today.
want to
so
stutter
we could
around,
get-
make him sweat a little bit? How do we do that?
I'm fine with that. I've been on the job block
He's been there
before.
before. I'll make a motion, we get the approval to apply for the, whatever, just, justice for child victims of sexual offense in St. Francis County. So, yes.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Brian, is this the first time that you can apply for this? Has it been used before? This is basically a first.
This particular grant, I believe, is the first time it's been offered because it is tied specifically to coronavirus funds and sex offenses against children.
And I've talked to some people who said that kids that are locked in at home now because of the virus, if they have an abusive parent, they're having a tough time.
Well, and part of the statistics we have to use in order to justify the grant application are just the differences in case referrals we've received from law enforcement regarding sexual offenses against children. And all of that is included in the application, so we're going full bore into explaining to the state why we need this money.
Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Wanted to make you sweat a little bit, Ryan.
Well, thank you very much.
Next regular meeting will be this time next week, and just an early notice, in 2 weeks, we'll have Labor Day, so Just bringing that up a little bit, and keeping everybody informed. Other business, we have any correspondence? Public comments? Departmental reports? Oh, you guys are quiet today. Adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank y'all.